Video, EPA will be taking a values test. So without further ado, let's get right into today's video. But be sure to follow me on Twitter. The link to that will be in the pinned comments. So let's get right into today's video. Let's get started. And I'm going to take the 8 values test, alright? Oppression by corporations is more of a concern than oppression by governments. I disagree. It is necessary for the government to intervene in economy to prevent customers. I disagree. I think sometimes it may need you need to prevent drugs and things, but overall I don't think so. The freer the market, the freer the people. I disagree. If you're again people like they're selling bad things, there are hackers and things like that, I disagree. It is better to maintain a balanced budget than ensure all welfare for all citizens. I do agree if you're having so much debt, then that's a problem. Public funding research is more beneficial to the people than leaving it to the market. I genuinely disagree because sometimes you do need those things to be funded, I guess. Terrorism International is encourage local production. I do agree with that statement because honestly, I do think that it does encourage local production from each ability to each according to its needs. I do agree. If you have more money, you may need more. It would be best if social programs were abolished in favor of private charity. I'm actually not so sure. I'm tempted to press the neutral or unsure button, but let me see. In favor of private charity. I do think I narrowly move in the agree. Taxes should be increased on the rich to provide for the poor. I disagree because I think the rich and the taxes are high enough. Inheritance is a legitimate form of wealth. Absolutely, it is. Basically, utilities should be publicly owned. Roads should be publicly owned, but electricity, I don't think so. So I'm going to disagree. Government intervention is a threat to the economy. Not all times, so I'm gonna say disagree because not all, I think it means all. I'm not exactly sure. I press disagree. Those with a greater ability to pay should receive better health care. I do agree because if they have more money, they can pay for private health care and get all that. Equality education is a right for all people. Everyone should have basic education, but if you do pay a lot of money, I think you could get a higher education. The means of production should belong to the workers who use them. The means of production should belong. Yeah, I guess so. I'm not really sure. The United Nations should be abolished. I disagree. You do need to keep the United Nations. Military action by our nation is often necessary to protect it. I agree because I guess randomly doing a war like Putin is, that's absolutely nonsense, but military action by our nation is often actually it depends on what military action it is. If it's Putin, like what Putin is doing, absolutely not. If it's what? I actually don't think that recently there's too much military action, so I'm going to press agree. I support regional unions such as the European Unions. You can do that yourself. I'm not going to intervene or anything. It is important to maintain our national sovereignty. I guess so. A united world government would be beneficial to mankind. A united world government, people, they have different interests. It is more important to retain peaceful relations than to further our strength. It's about equally as important. You do need to retain peace in relations, but I disagree because it says it's more important. I think it's about equally important here. Wars do not need to be justified to other countries. I disagree. It needs to be justified. Military spending is a waste of money. Nope, you do need to have military. I strongly disagree. International aid is a waste of money. I disagree. There should be. My nation is great. my nation is great. Yeah. I mean, I actually don't live in the United States. I actually live in Hong Kong, so it's actually not considered a nation. Ugh. So, I don't have a nation. I don't live in a nation. It's not a country. I mean, yeah, I genuinely believe that research should. Actually, I would say strongly agree. For that, research should be conducted on an international scale. Government should be accountable to the international community. Not exactly. Even when protesting, violence is not acceptable. I mean, if the government uses violence, that's a different question, but I disagree. Wait a minute. Nope. Violence is not acceptable. I do think that you shouldn't have violence, because violence is genuinely, in my opinion, pretty bad. Again, that's my own opinion, but it depends on what violence you're talking about. But genuinely speaking, I do think that violence is never the best way to deal with problems. My religion values should be spread as much as possible. I mean, that's sort of a, I think, interesting question. If people, they don't want to believe it, whatever. But yeah, I guess so. Our nation's values should be spread as much as possible. I mean, what is their nation's values? That's a big problem. I think, yeah, probably. I agree. I'm not so sure. It's very important to maintain law and order. Yeah, definitely. A general populace makes poor decisions. No, I think a lot of decisions are just fine. Physician-assisted suicide should be legal. This is a question I don't even know how to answer. Literally, I don't even really get what physician-assisted suicide is. I'd say I disagree. The sacrifice of some civil liberties is necessary to protect us from terrorism. No, I think that's not true. Government surveillance is necessary in a modern world. Disagree. Its very existence that our state is a threat to our liberty. Nah, definitely not. Regardless of political opinions, it is important to side with your country. I mean, if you're in Russia right now, I don't think it's right. It's not every time, so I'm going to disagree. All authority should be questioned, so I disagree. Not all authority, most could be. I think it could be questioned, not should be questioned. Our hierarchy state is the best. No, not exactly. It is important that the government follows the majority opinion, even if it's wrong. That's a very interesting question. How do you define wrong? And, no, I don't think so. You need to go with the right decision, in my opinion, but what's even the wrong decision? You don't really know, so in this case, I'm actually going to say yes, because you don't really know what the right decision is. The stronger leadership, the better. Nope. If you're like a Nazi, that's definitely not going to work. Democracy is more than a decision-making process. No, I don't think so. Environmental regulations are essential. What's essential? It's, yeah, it's pretty important, in some way. But what is environmental regulations? Yeah, that is a little bit, I guess, a little bit not so good worded. It's not exactly the most important thing, so I'm going to disagree. A better world will come to automation, science, and technology. Yeah, mostly science, automation. I do agree. Children should be educated in religion or traditional values. I disagree. I don't think they should. I mean, really, it depends on what their parents believe. I disagree. Tradition are of no values on their own. I disagree. Strongly disagree. There is religion. Religion should play a role in government, like a little bit, yeah. Churches should be taxed the same way as other institutions are taxed. I'm not even sure if it's taxed higher or lower or there's no tax at all. Yeah, I think so. Actually, you know what? No. Climate change is currently one of the greatest threats to our way of life. Nope, I don't think it's the greatest. I think it's one of the threats on a above average, but no. This is important that we work as the united world to combat climate change. If you're talking about combating climate change, yes. Society is a better many years ago than it's now. I'm not sure this is actually a political question. Again, my feelings that this is better than the political compass, but there's still a few questions I would want to reword. I don't think this is actually a political question. I disagree. It is important that we maintain traditions of our past. You know what? It depends on what traditions. Like, yeah, good traditions, bad traditions, wrong traditions, right traditions. I'd say mostly agree. Reasons is more important than maintain our culture. Yes, if it's right, drug should be legalized or decriminalized. Nope, definitely not. Same-sex marriage should be legal. It depends. I don't think in all circumstances no culture are superior to others. Yep, I agree. Sex outside marriage is immoral. A little bit. Yeah. If we accept migrants at all, it is important that they assimilate into our culture. I mean, if their culture is too off, no, yes, but if it's just, their own decisions, no. So overall, yeah, it depends. Abortion should be prohibited in most or all cases. Let me think. So, yeah, I agree. Sometimes abortion should be in most or all cases prohibited for those without a valid reason. I do agree with that statement. Actually, I support single-payer universal health care. Not exactly. Prostitution should be illegal. I actually forgot what prostitution is. Oh my god, I forgot what prostitution is. I'm gonna have to go neutral. Sure. Maintaining family values is essential. To chase progress at all costs is dangerous. Yup. Sometimes it is. Genetic modification is a force of good even among humans. Yeah. We should open our borders to immigration. No, not all immigration. Governments should be as concerned about foreigners as they are about their own citizens. Yep, I strongly agree with that. All people, regardless of factors like culture or sector, should be treated equally. Yep. It is important that we further my group's goals above all others. Not exactly. Alright, so I do have it. I am 50-50 on basically everything. This is actually pretty good. Look at this. Alright, so I'm a centrist. I'm pretty equality markets. I am pretty balanced. Like, I'm 50.0% to 50.0%. Civil access, I have liberty and authority. That's also pretty balanced. Tradition over progress, a little bit towards tradition. So it looks like, according to this, I'm center right. I expect to be somewhere in the middle. equality is the left-wing spectrum, markets are the right-wing spectrum. I think I didn't get a few of those questions, so I think if I actually got the questions, I would be even closer to the middle. I'm pretty balanced, 50-50 on nation, globe. Actually, I'm 100% balanced. Civil access, I am moderate here. I do lean towards authority, which is the right. But, yeah, I'm pretty 50-50. Society access, I am also neutral. I lean a little bit towards tradition, though I also am pretty progress, so closest match is a centrist. Yay, I like being a centrist. I actually remember last time, sometimes I get center right, sometimes I get center left. It looks like I'm a little bit center right this time. A long time ago, I remember doing it, I was center left, now I'm center right. Yeah, so thanks for watching, have a nice day, and bye.